Hey, how you doing, guys and gals? This is Hooksy coming at you with another quick video about some CAF training. This CAF training is the tool called acceptance. We're going to unpack that thing and we'll see what it's all about. Hey, one of the things I really love about CAF is it's not about rainbows and unicorns and make a happy-go-lucky world. CAF recognizes reality, and that's what we're dealing with. This acceptance tool says that, hey, bad stuff will happen to you in your life. And that bad stuff may be small, bad stuff may be huge. But the point about it is, how do we get through it? What do we do with this thing? Hey, this tool, I really love this quote by, who was it? Mark Twain. He says, I've been through a lot of terrible stuff in my life. And you know what? Some of it actually all really happened, kind of thing. So it's that mindset of thinking, a lot of the hardship going through a situation is something that we carry in our mind, and if we can get our mind fixed, it's going to be a lot easier to get through that rough time. So that's what we're talking about here. We're trying to look at a way that, hey, how can I get through this rough time and focus my efforts on those areas I have control, and how do I get through this rough time and possibly grow from this experience? That's what acceptance is all about. What's in it for you? What's in it for you is you're going to be able to decrease your stress when you're going through these tough times. You're going to also increase your productivity when you're going through this tough time if you do this, the way the Air Force tells us to. And also, you can get through these tough times and actually feel good because maybe you went through it and your values were exercised and your values remain intact. You're actually proud of how you got through this thing. Okay, two parts to it. It's mindfulness and meaning making. First off, mindfulness. Mindfulness kind of goes with that fact of we cannot concentrate, focus on two things at the same time in our mind. Human brain cannot do it. What we're doing is when we think we're multitasking, we're actually doing something called task switching. We're jumping back and forth from different things. You cannot focus your mind on two things, more than one thing at a time. So thus, if you are going through a rough situation, and if you're just focusing on how bad it is, how it's going to suck, and how terrible this is, guess what you're not focusing on? You're not focusing on areas that you do have control. So we need a technique that allows us to focus on the areas we have control and kind of disengage from all that negative thinking. That's what mindfulness is about. I'm just scratching the surface when it comes to mindfulness. If you're wise, you go ahead and take a look at YouTube, whatever. There's a lot of things out there about mindfulness. It's really big. People are catching on to the power of it. So this whole thing about mindfulness, all in all, it's just training your mind to focus. And what you choose to focus on, that's in the control of you. But it's training your mind to focus. And if we're going through a rough time, we want to train our mind to focus, not on the bad, the negative thinking, this, how much is going to suck, this or that. Because again, we can't do two things at once with our focus. We want to focus on those areas that we do have control. So the biggest thing is most people are not mindful. Most people are constantly lost in their thoughts, their thinking, and when the situation is negative, they're lost in negative thinking. We want to be able to train our focus on what we choose to focus on. So mindfulness, I love Jon Kabat-Zinn's definition of it. He says that mindfulness is paying attention on purpose, non-judgmentally in a particular way. You look there on YouTube, there is, one thing to realize about mindfulness is it's something that you can grow. It's something that you can cultivate. But guess what? It's not going to happen by accident. You have to purposely put work into it, effort into it. But scientifically, they looked at brain scans or whatever, people before mindfulness training and after. It's actually proven scientific fact that your brain does grow by practicing this. You're rewiring your brain by practicing mindfulness, rewiring your ability to focus on whatever you choose to. Okay, there's two ways to go about doing this thing. One is have a regular mindfulness practice. Take a look on YouTube, a lot of different suggestions, whatever. But all it is you're just training yourself to focus on one thing. And then when you're focusing on that thing, for instance, it might be your breathing. When you see your attention start to stray, you simply bring it back. As soon as you brought it back, that's like doing one rep. Because you're training yourself to bring it back, focus on this object that you're choosing. So that's mindfulness, is all about that. You can use this thing by having a regular practice to get yourself stronger at it. Also in the heat of the moment, a rough situation's going on. You ever heard take a deep breath? That's for you to pause, so you're not getting caught up in all that negative thinking, and focus on the action at hand, the areas that you do have control. So that's mindfulness. Definitely check that out. The last part of this whole acceptance piece, again, acceptance says, Not really again. But anyways, let me go. The last part of this acceptance piece is meaning making. Meaning making is like the opposite of PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. Is, hey, I went through this situation and now it's ruining my life. I can't really get past it, kind of thing. There's something called PTSG, post-traumatic growth, and that's the same, but it's all revolves around the fact that somebody says, I got this crap in my life. Now what am I going to do with it? Meaning making says you try to do something with this crap. Some folks, typically in the victim mentality, they take this crap that's in their life and they just pour me, spread it all over them. Yeah, life sucks, all this kind of stuff. But meaning making says you're in it anyways, so why don't you take this and see what you can do with it? Meaning making just is making a choice. What am I going to do with it? Is there any opportunities for me to grow from this hardship that I'm going through? Is there any opportunities that I can become stronger? What meaning can I make out of this? How can this benefit me? It sucks. Embrace the suck, but oh well, how can it benefit me? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So again, acceptance is realizing that bad, quote unquote, bad stuff will happen to you, but it does you no good to have yourself lost in thought with all that negative thinking. Bad stuff does happen to you, but guess what? You can choose the outcome on the other end. You could choose to remain true to your value, then come out on the other end and just pat yourself on the back. You said, yeah, the situation sucked, but guess what? I held true to my values in this situation, or I became stronger from this situation. So it all revolves around a choice to focus, paying attention, not getting lost in thought, and make meaning out of the stuff. So guys and gals, when you had that bad stuff happen in your life, choose acceptance. Choose to embrace the suck and grow from it. You guys have a great weekend. Peace out. This Hooksy.